Okay, guys. So today we are going to discuss about data provider in TestNG. Data provider in TestNG. So data provider means it's a concept. So far you are creating how many number of records after executing the program? Suppose I want to create a job records. So job records I am giving sales one descriptions, sales one job, sales one note, and sales one description. So these are the information I am providing. So only one record we are going to create. Okay, only one record only I am able to create. But I want to execute my program for three sets of input data. Okay, first all my so I want to execute my program when it is for sales one description, and I want to execute my program when it is for sales two description, and when it is I want to execute the same program when it is for sales three description. So I want to create more number of records. Okay, so the test has to execute multiple times. The test has to execute multiple times for different sets of input data. That concept known as data provider. Okay, so far your program is executing only once, but by using data provider, we can execute the program more than once. So that for different set of input data, the test will be executed. Okay, so now let me see this program. I'm copying this add jobs program, copying and pasting in this data provider package. 1 second, please. So add jobs. Okay, let me rename first. We have to add jobs 10. So this is the TestNG class file. I'm taking copy and I'm pasting in this package, data provider package. So let me open this. So this is the program you have written. Okay, this is the program you have written. So what is the program it is saying? Sales 9 record will be created. Okay, along with the sales 9, I also want to create sales 10 and sales 11 as well. Okay, so this program I want to execute 3 times. So what I am doing is, so prior to @test, I'm going to write a data provider. Okay, how to write data provider? Let's go to the data provider syntax part. So I'm copying the syntax part. So this is the data provider syntax. Control C. And let's paste it here. Okay, so public object array and data provider. This is the method name. You can give method name whatever you want. So I am giving method name as test data provider. So this is the syntax part. So there is a method. It was given by TestNG. So here it contains how many number of rows? This is 0th row. This is first row, and this is second row. So total 3 rows and 6 columns. So okay, 6 columns data. Okay, so first the set of driver commands will be executed for the first set of input data. Means these all commands will be executed for the first set of input data, and the program will be executed for the second set of input data, and the program will be executed for third set of input data. So just I had given, suppose if I want to give 4, I have to give 4 rows. Okay, let me give one more row. So let's give 3 of 0. 3 index is starting from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. So now let me give Java 4. So that means my program will be executed how many times? 4 times. So now my data provider contains all set of input data. Okay. So, but my test has not connected with the data provider. So to connect with the data provider, the main step is you have to write at the test level, data provider is equal to data provider is equal to. So what is the data provider name here? This is the method name. Okay, 1 second. Data provider name is this one, test1. I had given data provider name is test1. Okay, let's give this name. name is equal to test, so that your test will be connected with the data provider. Your test will be connected with the data provider. So you make sure whatever data provider name you had given here. So your test will be connected with the data provider, and at the method level, you have to specify parameters. So how many parameters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now let me create all the parameters here. All 6 parameters. String, test URL. First one is URL. Next string, username. Next string, password. Next string, job title. Next string, job description. String, job node. I had created method local variables. Okay. So during the iteration time, the first set of values, it will come to test URL, username, password, job title, job description, job node. So during the first iteration, all these values, it will come into this method local variables here. Got the point? Now let's replace these variables here. So just replace these variables, test URL and username, wherever value, replace the values, because values are coming from data provider. Password, let's use this password. Job title, let's do job title. Next one is job description. Make sure same name we're giving. Next one, job node. Make you job node. Save the program. That's it over. To run the program, okay, it has to execute for the first set of input data, and after that it has to execute for the second set of input data, and it has to execute for the third set of input data, and it has to execute for the fourth set of input data. So the test will be executed multiple times for different sets of input data. Okay, so in the interviewer, people are asking how to write this method. That's it only. So this is the main step, and you have to remember this step. That's it, over. Okay, and the data provider name, anyway, this syntax you have to remember. So this is the main lines of code you have to remember. Okay, so let me run this program. Add jobs 10. Okay, now okay, close this all. Save. So now add jobs 10 program. Okay, now where is this add jobs program, right? Where I have updated. Admission. My changes gone up. Okay, so let us assume there are 3 sets of input data, and I'm going to execute string test URL, username, password, all these things. Okay, so this data provider, it contains how many number of 3 sets of input data. So let me run this program. Run as TestNG test. So my test it will be connected with the data provider, and local variables will be loaded with first set of input data. So username and password value. So entered. Okay, data provider variables loaded, admin. So job title, Java 1 description, and it has to second session got started, and for the second set of input data, it is executing freshly here. Okay, second set of input details got entered, and for third set of input data, again set of driver commands are executing. Driver, new Chrome driver. Okay, so that means 3 sets of input data, the program got executed. Huh? How many? You can give unlimited data. You can give unlimited number of rows. ఎంత డేటా అయినా యాక్సెప్ట్ చేస్తుంది జావా. అట్లా ఏమి ఉండదు. సో యూ కెన్ గివ్ 1 lakh records also. 10 lakhs also you can give. So those many times it will be executed. Okay. So understood, right, everyone? What is data provider means? First, you need to copy and paste the data provider syntax. Don't remember this one while practicing. Just copy this method. Second step, what is the step? We have to connect with the data provider. So at the so you have to write data provider is equal to data provider name. And step 3, simply you need to specify all the method local variables and replace the values wherever you are using these variables. You can replace, so that test will be executed those many times. Okay, that's it. So now what I am doing is, for the same program, I'm doing copy and paste. Add jobs 2. Okay. So this is the data provider syntax. In the interviews, if people are asking, you need to write this is the syntax. And there is another syntax also available for data provider. Okay, let me tell you that point as well. I am copying this syntax. Okay. And I'm coming back to here. So this is the data provider method, starting curling bracket and ending curling bracket here. Okay. After that, I'm pasting this method. So you can give method name test data provider, whatever you want, test data provider 2. Okay. Right. And what is the name I want to give? Name is equal to test 1. Okay. Let me give name is equal to test 2. I had given name is equal to test 2. So here what I am doing is test URL, username, password, and I have to give Java 10, Java and Java 10 description and Java note. So Java 10 note. Got the point? So let me give the same thing. So Java 11, Java 11 description and Java 11. So what is this data provider name I had given? Name is equal to test 2. Test 2. If my test want to connect with this data provider, so I have to rename it to test 2. So my test will be connected with test 2 data provider. Okay, and my test will be executed for two sets of input data here. Okay, so let's run this program now. Add jobs to program. Okay, let's do run as TestNG test. So the first time application is running slowly. So Java 10 record has to create because I'm connecting test to 2 data provider. So Java 10, and for the second Java 11. Okay. So you can use any of this data provider syntax, but in real time, the first example syntax only most of the people will follow. Even in the interviews also, people are asking, you can write the first syntax only. Don't use second syntax. But second syntax looks like very simple to easy to use, but in real time, people will use that syntax. Okay, guys, now we understood data provider. So data provider means you have to define the data in the data provider. Second step is you have to connect with the data provider. Second step. Third step is you have to mention method local variables, whatever input data it is coming. Suppose you mentioned here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but you mentioned only 5 local variables. Your data provider cannot be executed. Okay. Suppose you mentioned how many 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make sure 6 local variables got created at method level. Okay. Otherwise, your data provider cannot be executed. So that is the mistake. Most of the people are doing the mistakes because in data provider, if you mention 5, you have to mention 5. Right. So that is the data provider. So data provider means it provides data to the test. The test will be executed multiple times for different sets of input data. That's it. Okay, now I want to copy this program, jobs 10 program, and I'm again pasting into here. Jobs 11. Okay, I posted. One second. Jobs 2 program, right? We did just now. Okay. Now let me copy this add jobs 2 program, copy it and paste it, add jobs 3. Okay. So, okay. So here I'm going to give my data provider name as test1. Okay. So now I want to do one more thing as well. The first, okay. So now let me do one more important thing. So how many number of columns? 7. And 0, I am going to give Rome. Okay. And similarly, I'm going to give Edge browser. Okay, now let me tell you. So 0, 0 value it contains Chrome, 0, 1 value it contains URL, 0, 2 it contains username, 3 contains this one, 4, 5, and 6. Similarly, here also. Okay. Okay, one second. First we will do Firefox also later we will do. So 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, and 2, 6. So I'm having 2 sets of input data, 2 rows. Okay. And how many columns? 7 columns. So here, okay, my test has to connect with the test with data provider test1. Okay, let me connect to my test has to connect with test1. What is the point? Everyone is clear. So the first one I had given browser. Let's give it string browser. I had given browser. So the browser value during the first iteration, what value it contains? Chrome. During the second iteration, what is the browser value it contains? Edge. So that means during my first iteration, I want to execute my program. Okay, now I want to execute my program on Chrome browser, and during the second iteration, I want to execute my program on Edge browser. So I want to write a logic inside the method here. Okay, so if browser dot equals of Chrome, that is the value we had mentioned, right? So now I want to use this one. Okay, if browser equals of Edge browser. What is the browser I mentioned? Edge. Then I want to call Edge driver. Okay, let me give Edge. One second. So import the supporting driver asking. So let's import that. So during my first iteration, this value will be executed. Anyway, this it cannot be executed because browser value is not Edge. So and after that remaining lines of code is executed. Okay. So now I want this. Okay. Now I am going to create Java 15, 15 description, 15 node. This record will be executed on Chrome. Java 16, 16 description, Java 16 node will be executed on Edge browser. Okay, let's run this program. Okay. Run as TestNG test. One second. So name is equal to test1. Name is equal to test1. Browser, test URL, username, password, job title, job description, job node. Okay. What it is showing? Index out of bound, index to out of bound. Okay, let's go to the here. Okay, 7 columns and okay, I think I have to mention range 1 comma 0 actually, because index will start from from 0, right? So I have to mention. Okay. So 2 records I mentioned, right? So 0th index and 1 index. Okay, now let me run this one, TestNG test. So for the program, it has to execute on Chrome browser. Second time, my program has to execute on Edge browser, because browser value it matches to Edge. So second thing, so it is executing on Edge browser. Just observe that it's executing on Edge. So that's it. Okay, so test got executed on. If you want to see the output report, go to test output folder and open the emailable report. Open with. See, the program got executed first time with these values, Chrome, which is got passed, and second time it is got executed with Edge browser. Okay, so that's it.
Hello.
1 second.
Hello.
Yes.
సార్ ఇది ఇఫ్ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఉంది కదా సార్ మీరు రాసింది, అది బ్లాక్ లో ఉంటుంది కదా, ఫ్లవర్ బ్లాక్ లో మీరు ఫ్లవర్ బ్లాకెట్స్ ఇవ్వకుండానే ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతుందా సార్?
1 second. ఏంటమ్మా డౌట్ ఏంటి మళ్ళీ అడుగు.
ఇఫ్ రాశారు కదా సార్, ఇఫ్ బ్లాక్.
ఇఫ్ బ్లాక్. ఓకే లెట్ మీ కమ్ టు దట్. ఇఫ్ బ్లాక్ కర్లింగ్ బ్రాకెట్ పెట్టలేదన్నా మీరు అడిగేది.
అవును సార్.
సింగిల్ లైన్ అయితే కర్లింగ్ బ్రాకెట్ పెట్టాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. ఒకవేళ మల్టిపుల్ లైన్స్ ఉంటే కర్లింగ్ బ్రాకెట్ మస్ట్ అండ్ షుడ్ గా పెట్టాలి. సో పెడితే పెట్టండి, బట్ ఇఫ్ బ్లాక్ లో మల్టిపుల్ లైన్స్ ఉంటే కంపల్సరీ కర్లింగ్ బ్రాకెట్ రాయాలి. సింగిల్ లైన్ అయితే రాయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు.
ఓకే.
సో లైక్ దట్. ఓకే, సో I'm going to upload this one, data provider. Okay, let me share this. That's it guys, for today's class we completed data provider. Oh, 98% అయితే నువ్వు ఇది అప్లోడ్ చేయి. ఓకే, యామిని ఫోల్డర్ లోకి అప్లోడ్ చేయాలి. సో డేటా ప్రొవైడర్ ల్యాబ్ అప్లోడ్ చేశాను, యూ కెన్ డౌన్లోడ్. ఓకే గైస్, దట్స్ ఇట్ ఫర్ టుడేస్ క్లాస్.
హలో.
ఎస్ ఎస్
సార్, ఒకసారి స్క్రీన్ షాట్స్ మీరు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశారు కదా సార్, అవి ఒకసారి చెప్తారా సార్ నాకు?
ఏదమ్మా?
స్క్రీన్ షాట్స్ ఒక క్లాస్ తీసుకున్నారు కదా సార్.
స్క్రీన్ షాట్స్ ఏది ఆటోమేషన్ లోనా?
ఆటోమేషన్ లో సార్.
ఎక్కడ స్క్రీన్ షాట్స్ రాశాను?
ఇక్కడ కాదు సార్, అంటే పోయిన క్లాస్ లో ముందు టెస్ట్ ముందు మనము ఒక టెస్ట్ కేసెస్ మొత్తం ఒక కండిషన్ రాసి స్క్రీన్ షాట్స్ అన్ని తీసాం కదా సార్ ఒక దాంట్లో
హైబ్రిడ్ ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్
హైబ్రిడ్ ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్ లోనే. అవును సార్.
అవి ఏ క్లాస్ ఆ క్లాస్ ఇదేంటంటే అటువంటి డౌట్స్ ఉంటే ఒకసారి క్లాస్ లోకి రండి, ఎందుకంటే ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్ రిలేటెడ్ అని పర్సనల్ గా చెప్తాను, అంటే ఇన్స్టెడ్ ఆఫ్ డిస్కసింగ్ ఇన్ ఓపెన్ ఫోర్.
ఓకే.